Hello and welcome to May's Crochet. I am Rachel and today's video is going to be kind of dumb, but it's something I've been curious about for a few months now. So this is the hear me out portion of the video, okay? I know my very first video of the year when I showed off everything I made in 2024 and talked about what I wanted to do for 2025, I was very specific in saying that I did not want to do any more granny hexi cardies because I've made too many. It's gotten excessive and there's just no point to it. But hear me out. I actually had this idea last year and I even filmed footage for it in November to get it started. I was going to make a Christmas sweater, but that changed when I ran out of time, when I still had Christmas presents to make, and so that didn't happen. And today is Monday, February 10th. I've got, well, now 3.5 days to try to pump out a Valentine's Day sweater using 2 pounds of 4-weight acrylic yarn because I am genuinely curious how many rounds 1 pound can make. And so now I'm going to show you the footage that I filmed back in November. Everything stays the same. I'm using a 6mm hook, 4-weight acrylic yarn. It's just going to be a dark red instead of a dark green like I was going to use for Christmas. So here's Rachel from November, and Rachel from February will be back in just a minute. So at the beginning of the month, I did a week-long lookbook wearing some of my favorite granny hexi cardis and one pullover, but I've made like 15 or so at this point. And very rarely do I use one skein of yarn for the whole thing. In fact, I've only done it twice, and it's not even one skein. But most of the time, I'm either striping or blocking or some kind of color variation. And I genuinely wonder how much yarn a large cardigan eats up because I don't know. And so we're gonna find out today. So this is one I wore during the lookbook. This was made with 1 pound skein. It was the Karen 1 pound skein, and I got 18 rounds on each side, and it was just the 1 pound altogether. And then I had to use a different contrasting color because I was completely out of this. But I wanna know how much 1 pound will do for one side. And so that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a 2 pound sweater. I don't know why. I mean, I want to say for science, but I really feel like this is just dumb. So I will be using this Crafter's Secret Big Idea. It is 1 pound. It is 810 yards. The Karen 1 pound that I used on this gray sweater, it is 812 yards. The only other 1 pound skeins I've ever seen or used would be the Lion brand Pound of Love. And those are over 1,000 yards, but they are really skinny. All of my sweaters, I use a 6mm hook and relatively loose tension. It starts a little tighter in the middle, but it does end up looser the more I go around. And so the rule here is going to be once I can no longer get all the way around one side, that's it. That's what I could get out of it. And since I don't know how this is going to turn out, if it's something I'm even going to like that much, I'm just going to make it a Christmas sweater and use this for the cuffs and the ribbing. So let's do some math to see if we can maybe predict what size this is going to be. So armed with my 6mm hook, pen and paper, let's do this. There's no prize, just if I get it, cool. If I don't, whatever. Here's the problem. You add 6 clusters per round, but you don't add the corner chains. So I'm not adding 6 chains every time, so I'm gonna have to do clusters and then multiply them. I'm probably gonna end up doing this a really long, complicated way that doesn't need to be long and complicated, but it's the way I know how to do it, so yeah. And I'm not great at tutorials, but if you don't know how to do a granny hexi cardigan, if you know how to do a granny square, you can do a granny hexi cardigan. Instead of 4 clusters in a magic circle, you do 6. And then you just build up the sides and sew up, seam up a shoulder, and better. I'll still link to a better tutorial. Okay, so no, it doesn't look like a hexagon, but it's a hexagon. This is round 1 with 6 clusters and 6 chains. Now, the clusters increase 6 every round, 1 for each side, but the chains do not increase. So that is where the math is gonna get me because I'm gonna get confused because I can't multiply this because the chains aren't gonna multiply every time. It's still gonna be the same number of chains, but a different number of clusters, right? This is what we're starting with though. Okay, so now I'm gonna frog it all the way back and see how long it is. 97 inches. What is that in yards? 32 yards? Okay, so according to my calculations, the first round is just over 8 feet, so not quite 3 yards. Did I break it? Come on, come on, it won't retract. Oh no. Something just flew out of it. I broke it. Now I just have to figure out what 6 clusters minus chain spaces are. I am done mathing forever. What I predict will be 25 rounds, which is comparable to the bigger ones I made. Like the Night and Day hexi cardi is, I think, 24 on each side. So I am predicting there will be 25 rounds on each side for 1 pound, but there will be about 43 yards left over. Yeah, that is based off 8 feet for the first row, which is 6 clusters, 18 double crochets, and 6 corner chains. And then just 6 clusters or 18 double crochets without any of that other stuff is another 7 feet. So 810 yards is 2,430 feet. And if you subtract that, adding 7 feet each time for every round, should get down to 25 rounds and 130 feet, or about 43 yards left, approximately. There's a lot of room for human error as far as the actual make and my actual math. So that is what I predict, 25 rounds complete with some leftover. Oh, and here's the math. I know there has to be a program that I could have input all this data into and just kept, adding 7 feet that would subtract from the overall. I don't know. I don't know the program. I don't care about the program. So I did it on pen and paper, the old-fashioned way, maybe the longer way, but it's done. Okay. 2 pounds, 4 weight acrylic yarn in cranberry, nice dark red, because I didn't want like this bright red color. And then I also have an extra like 7-ounce skein for the ribbing, because I'm going to use this until I cannot go all the way around for a full round. I still have the paperwork, so we're still aiming for about 25 rounds. That's our destination. Already made the pockets. So it's like I'm halfway done already. But honestly, this is pointless. If I ever wear the sweater, it'll be once a year, but I'm still really curious if this would all work out. And the last couple of videos have been really hard to edit, and I'm pretty sure this one's going to be very easy to edit because I'm just making a basic granny hexi cardi without changing colors. So I don't expect it to be too long of a video and too much work, but we'll see. Just so you know, Valentine's Day is not a big deal for me. Brad and I have not celebrated it in 13 years. And even then, I think we just went out because our oldest's daycare at the time, when she was 3, was having like a parents' night out. So we're like, yeah, okay, we'll go out in the middle of the week. Why not? It's just a greeting card holiday to us, but it is my grandmother's 85th birthday. So happy birthday, Grandma. I'm just doing this for the plot because it was the next option for a holiday sweater, I guess. So let's start some cardigans that I said I would stop making. Yeah, I'm a liar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
These count to 11.
12.
Yeah, 12. How'd you know? 14. 15.
Until everybody we have 16 rounds done? No, just gonna lay there. Why, baby?
17.
For 18 pages. Front and back!
No, that is 20.
Klaus, can you say 21? Can you say 21?
22. Logan, that's her. That's X23.
And that's our answer. 23 is as far as I got. I'm not disappointed that my math was so off, but I am surprised. Actually, I'm kind of glad. My hands are really tired, and I was just so not in the mood to do 2 more rounds on each side. And this is how I do all of my granny hexi cardis. I mean, that's very typical tension of mine. Start really tight and looser as I go out. So for me, the mystery is solved. But we're not done, because we still need to put it together into a sweater and seam up some sleeves, do some cuffs, put some pockets on, make it an actual Valentine sweater, not just a dark red sweater, right? Yeah? Okay. So I'm going to do all that off camera, and I will be back. And we did it! So I'm so happy to have this complete. I've been wondering for far too long how many rounds it would take for 1 pound skein of yarn, and now I know with my tension it would be 23 rounds. So I really mean it this time. I don't plan on making any more granny hexi cardis, at least not for a very, very long time. And this one's not actually technically complete because I would like to do the ribbing all the way around, but I also wanted to get this video out today since it is Valentine's Day themed, and today is still Valentine's Day, and I don't have time to do the ribbing right now. Plus, my hands hurt a lot because I buckled down and got this done in 3.5 days, which is the fastest I have ever done a granny hexi cardi before. I usually give myself a couple of weeks to work on them. But that is it. My curiosity has been satisfied. at least for this. And I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day if you are celebrating. If not, have a happy Friday. Again, happy birthday to my grandmother. And I'm gonna go bake some cupcakes with my youngest. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!